Right, good morning everybody. Joe Murphy. Thank you very much to Steve, and thank you very much to everybody coming out this morning. We're here to give you an update on what we know about the fire, a bit about our containment strategies, talk about road closures, answer your questions, listen to your concerns, and see where we go to from there. We've got media here this morning, just so you're aware as well. We've got a few media people in the audience as well. Alrighty, just starting with what we know. The big black zone is the current burned area of the Namachi fire. 2,575
hectares.
Okay, so just a nudge over 2,500 hectares at this stage. Started in the top end of the Orroral Valley, and it's moved down through the valley and is spread predominantly north and east, and a bit to the south as well. So the valley, as you can see, comes down through here. Bit is spread to the south, but we've got some pretty good spotting here last night.
Look, it's probably easier if you... It's to the west of us. It's to the south of Apollo Road. I don't know, who knows the Honeysuckle Creek campground?
Yeah.
There's a road that goes from the campground up to what they call the culmination tower. And then there's another road that goes down to Orroral called the Link Road. It is just to the north of the culmination tower, so it's actually on the northern side of Apollo Road, up in that part of the park. And then down, it's burning on the back of Honeysuckle Ridge. It hasn't come into the farmland as such on this eastern side. Last night we could see active fire above Brayshaw's block, which is down off the Bobian Orroral Road. And then Dave will have a better idea of Orroral. He was up there most of the night.
So Orroral, it's mainly gone along the eastern side, along the hill there. It's burning in the valley, but it's burning very slowly, and it's stopped at the link road in the valley. It hasn't stopped at the link road on the eastern side. On the Cotter Hut Road, it has crossed the Cotter Hut Road. But as you'll see on the map, if you come and have a look at it later, it's only just crossed over the Cotter Hut Road. The fire behaviour there last night, obviously given the conditions, were absolutely still. The behaviour had died right down, but yeah, that's all going to be dependent on what happens today, I suppose.
Yeah, we were up the back of our place 9 o'clock last night, and it came over the ridge. There were 10 to 15 metre flames, crowning and flames above the tree as it came up the ridge. Dry. The forest's that dry, but anyway, we know.
Alright folks, so just a bit about some of the fire behaviour we've seen, just supporting what these two have just said. We've seen significant spotting. So the first spots that we saw the other day were about 5 kilometres out. So we did see some spotting in that wind yesterday as the fire went up the ridge line, so as it went climb the hill, it did spot about 5 kilometres ahead. We have some pretty ordinary weather coming this week and into Saturday. It is going to be hot and dry with moderate winds for the remainder of this week. Saturday, we are in total fire ban till Friday, till midnight Friday. It is in all likelihood that our worst day this week is going to be Saturday. Alright, expect a total fire ban on Saturday, expect elevated fire dangers on Saturday, and expect that this fire will not be out by Saturday. This is going to be a campaign fire. There's a lot of very dry forest out there. We're putting it out to you right now. We are not going to hold it. We're not going to get it out today or at any time soon. This is going to take a significant effort. The map to my left here, and I encourage you to come out to have a look at this later on, shows you what our current containment strategies are. And just to let you know, the big strategy is out to the north, out here like this. That's our current containment strategies. They're quite large to the northern part there. We're working on the major roads here as well as part of our containment strategy. So I encourage you to come and have an understanding of what our current thinking is with what the fire is doing, the predicted conditions, and our current resourcing. You will continue to see aircraft overhead. That will include very large air tankers and large air tankers, which we used yesterday. It will include helicopters, and that will include contracted helicopters and ADF helicopters. You'll continue to see dozers, graders and heavy plant around Tharwa and around these areas while we continue to work on the trails and the like. You'll also see positioned out here some bulk water, and I'm going to get Patrick to speak in a minute just about a strike team that Fire and Rescue are putting into the village, into Tharwa village during the days to maintain property safety. I'll get Pat to talk about that in a second as well. There is a forward staging area at the Namadgi Visitor Centre. We have closed the road to restricted access from Namadgi South. Restricted access. If you're a landholder, a resident, or an identified helper, you're allowed through there. The fire is still at Watch and Act. Just stand by. So just be aware, when you get to that roadblock, you need to make it very clear who you are, what you're doing, why you're going south. Just make that, be respectful, be courteous to the people who are there. They're working under our instructions and under our authority. All right, just be very courteous, very respectful to them. All right. The forward staging area at the Namadgi Visitor Centre is not a drop-in centre. It is there for the services there while we do all our staging and forward positioning of all our firefighters and the trucks and the like. So a bit about what's happening in town as well. The Erindale College has been set up as a respite centre. It is there for those people who feel that they need to have a break. If they need to get away from down here or in the southern part of the valley as well. You can go there for respite. It is not, I'll be very clear, it is not an evacuation centre. Do we want to talk about evacuations for a second? Kev? Talk about evacuations? Okay. So, at this time, there is no evacuation called for any part of the ACT. None in place. Should we call for an evacuation, we are not going to forcibly evacuate people from properties. We will very strongly recommend it. Our language will be very strong in that manner. We fully understand that there are those who are prepared with their properties, they are prepared physically, and they are mentally prepared to defend their properties and keep themselves safe. We understand that. Our language will be strong, asking you to evacuate should the need occur. Any problems with that? No. All right. So the messaging. So an emergency alert, a Watch and Act emergency alert was put out the other day for the areas of Tharwa and surrounds. If you lived in Banks, Gordon, Conda, you might have also received it. That's the way the emergency alert system works. It was targeted to Tharwa and the surrounding areas here, down through the southern parts and through the valley. That was the intent of the message, and that's why I said Tharwa and surrounds. We will continue to use emergency alert if we need to, if we think there's an urgent situation arising. I need to leave you with, any horse owners? Okay, Epic is open. If you take your horse to Epic though, you must care for your horse at Epic as well. That's the way the system works. Alrighty, what was I going to finish you with? Can't remember that. Okay, Pat, do you want to have a quick chat about your strike team?
Yeah guys, Patrick Brennan, ACT Fire Rescue. Just letting you know that for the foreseeable future, we will have a pumper crew from ACT Urban with a light tanker and a medium tanker. I think we will probably position ourselves in the recess down at the bottom of the main road. This is a well-informed, well-prepared community. If you want to know anything about how to improve your property protection, then certainly come down and see us. We'll be available if anything does happen within the village. But the first thing I'll say to anybody here is if you have any flammable materials around the exterior of your house, this is the time to start removing them, keeping the outside of your house nice and clear. So if there is any ember fall at all, that it's not going to engage anything that's close to your house and therefore might involve your house. So we'll be there at least for the rest of today, and we'll see how the campaign unfolds. Come down and see us and we'll tell you what we can. Any questions?
I've got one question. Are people going to be monitoring the water tank level here, and if it happens to get low, can we get a bulk tanker out to just fill the Tharwa, maintain the water supply that the locals rely on for their hoses?
So that fills up every day. We fill that up twice a day. It'll be fine. The river's fine at the moment, so
thank you.
So one other thing on water, folks, is there is a bulk water tanker that will be stationed here in Tharwa as well to supplement the village water supply for firefighting.
Right, we'll get to questions in a few minutes. We'll all be happy to answer questions in minutes. We'll just get the information out to you. So Chris Condon is the Rural Liaison Officer for Rural Fire Service. Chris is going to position himself down at the Visitor Centre for the remainder of today.
Yeah, I'll be at the Namadgi Visitor Centre for today, so that if we do need to get warnings out to landholders, knowing that phone reception down there is quite poor, I'll be able to get out to reasonably quick to start informing landholders of what's going on. Most of the landholders down Topnose, Bobian have my mobile number. Feel free to call throughout the day. If you don't have it, come and see me and I'll make sure you've got it before you go. If you see SES tape on your gate, obviously you've spoken to ADF and SES crews last night who were down Bobian Road, Topnose Road and Apollo Road to talk to residents down there. That's all that flagging tape means, is that we have spoken to you and somebody was home when crews did visit.
Please leave that flagging tape on your gates at this stage, just so in case we've got crews still roving around doing this visiting and door knocking.
Can I just say to everyone, we'll get the questions, everyone, that if you see fire, unattended fire, ring 000. Don't just assume that there are people know about it or anything. When this starts to spot, it will spot who knows how far. So if you see fire, can you please ring 000, give them the best location that you can. The people will be around, but yeah, the more eyes we have on the ground when it starts, the better.
Cool. Right, anything else from the people at the front here? Right, questions. Steve, I'll let you moderate this.
This lady here.
Kate from town. With the removal of flammable liquids and things like that, where should we move them to if we're in the town?
As long as they're not external to your property, where they would be exposed to any fire if it does take hold, that's what we're suggesting. So if you can put it in a shed or anywhere that's not out and exposed, that's what we're recommending. So we're not looking to stockpile it anywhere. That'll just create a bigger problem somewhere else. So just around the outside of your house is what we're concerned about, and it's not so much liquids in a container, it's loose flammable material. So boxes, if you haven't cleaned up the leaf litter around your house, that's the kind of stuff, cardboards, papers.
So LPG cylinders on barbecues outside, you're not suggesting people disconnect them?
No, keep them all connected up, but make sure they're off.
Any gas bottles, large gas bottles that you use for hot water or anything, the vent should be facing away from the house.
Yep.
So just check that, because whoever put them in might have known that, but yeah, keep it away from the house. Any flammable, if you've got large quantities of flammable liquids, I mean, this is worst case if it happens, but can you let the people know, the firefighters that turn up, let them know that you've got fuels in large quantities or anything dangerous, just so they're aware.
So just want to reiterate, please, for those people who haven't already done so, go onto the ESA website, download the Bushfire Survival Plan. It asks you all these questions and provides guidance on what you should be doing. I really do encourage you to sit down for 20 minutes and do that. I know we've been banging on about it, but it actually does a lot of this thinking for you and helps you with this decision-making process. Just on that, if you've got a Bushfire Survival Plan, and you should have, if you've got a Farm Firewise plan, and you reach your triggers, don't wait. Follow your actions. Do not wait, do not second guess, do not go and check to make sure that what we're saying is the truth by driving to the top of the hill and going, by golly, that fire's a lot closer than I thought. You've got to go, once the triggers are reached, you enact your actions and you follow them through and you make them happen. You let somebody know what they're doing. So if you're bugging out, you get out and you let people know what you're doing. Really, I was just trying to say to people, really make sure you follow your actions. Do not second guess yourself, you've already done it. Okay, more questions?
Sorry, Dave, do you want to say anything?
No, I think I've said all about I know with regards to the situation at the moment. The rest of it for us is just to be available. I noticed that we've had most of our brigade out, or a fair amount of our brigade out all night, and it's good to see that a few of them have still managed to rock up here this morning. So they're very dedicated to the area. And we've got a bit of a structure in place with regards to personnel over the next couple of days to make sure people are available, and we're working with Joe's people to make sure that we've got plenty of resources with regards to vehicles, because yesterday was a bit of a drain on our vehicles, so we're going to make sure that we can back up for the next couple of days.
All right.
Questions?
Is your strategy for visiting houses down Pavoyan Road, are you going to go over to Smiths Road as well, or is there an invisible line where you don't cross?
No, we haven't forgotten about Smiths Road. We've got triggers outlined when we need to start moving out to Smiths Road, and we've got a liaison officer. We're organising a liaison officer from Coombe Monero to come down and be in our IMT, so we can they can pull on their New South Wales Rural Fire Service crews as well.
Actually got members, captain and members of Smiths Road Brigade here today. So.
Just one thing in regard to that, I think it's all been organised, but just to remember to contact the Smiths Road Fire Brigade, because I know there's been times in the past when there's been fires close to Smiths Road where it's been found out, not directly but through media. So if you can just, it is the captain knows, there, but just as a member there, it's really nice to have the assurity that there's going to be direct communication there as well. I know you're busy, but that'll be helpful.
New South Wales RFS will have a person embedded in the IMT in Fairburn, and they will let people and the brigades will be notified.
Oh, that's where last night.
Yeah, so that's
okay,
all.
Thank you.
Yes, so I'd like just to assure people that the connections between ACT and New South Wales are rock solid. We've got a liaison officer heading off there today. They've got a liaison officer heading to us today. Constant communication. We use the same systems to make sure that everybody's got full transparency about that. But I would also encourage you, as much as people like to receive notifications, you need to keep yourself informed. You need to make sure that you are staying connected to the ESA website, the fires near me, our Facebook page, Twitter, whatever it is, whichever channel works for you. You need to be connected to it and keep yourself informed. You really need to take some personal responsibility about your safety and keeping yourself and your family updated. Steve.
666 radio, been very good, so you can do that. And also just on the Smiths Road issue, now we've got something actually in our backyard. Dave and I will be keeping fairly close tab conversations with Sean, so.
Let's go to the radio.
In terms of the fire mapping, the ESA graphics aren't particularly user-friendly. It's fairly hard to get iPhone to get in and actually locate, in your latest map just where the fire is. Is there anything you can do with that?
New South Wales Fires Near Me app will have.
I'll use that for you.
Yeah,
There was a message that.
Yeah, there is. So that's right. So the New South Wales Fire Listing map has got a little bit of a delay when it does the updates. I agree that maybe our map isn't so good, but you can zoom in on the map on our website.
It's a bit hard. I mean, it's great, but it's a bit hard.
But so if you go to the website, you can zoom in on different parts of it. Yeah. You can turn on to satellite view versus topographic view, or landscape and land view. So just work at it. You might need to hold down the control key while you do it. I don't know how Apple works, so I can't answer that one.
Talk to your developers, because that website graphic updates every 30 seconds, which is great, but as soon as it does that, it goes back to the default zoom again and you lose your detail.
I'm not sure this is the meeting.
I can't solve them right now. I'm saying you need to keep yourself informed on the information being provided.
So sorry on that, does anybody have any information on how to stop that? Is there any, because it's pretty much every 30 seconds so you can't see it.
Can we just hold the question? Pat just wants to make some comments about 000 calls.
Just a quick one, folks. If you need to call 000, just remember that call centre is servicing all emergency responses in the ACT. There's a limited number of people in there. It's not what you might imagine. It's not a massive room full of people on the telephone. If you need to call 000, what they will need is a really accurate location of what you're talking about, what you're calling assistance for. If we're talking about a fire, any property or infrastructure that might be at risk, and then a little summary of what we're actually going to be dealing with. That will be the best information to get us to you as quickly as possible, or any of the crews on the ground.
If you can, with that, if you work out your lap long, get a grid reference, which you
Emergency Plus app.
Emergency Plus.
If you don't have Emergency Plus app, please download it right now because it will give you the lat long of your location when you go to make the call.
That's the best information.
Steve, if you put a watch zone and turn off location services on the app, it goes straight to your watch zone every time. So if you turn off location services just on that app.
So that's for fires near me. Remember, that's the New South Wales version of fires near me. We can set up watch zones.
Right, Jan?
Is there a UHF channel for people who have no coverage?
We're in the south, we've been using 26, so it probably wouldn't be a bad idea for the Tharwa, Tippinbilla guys to stick to 26. Smith's Road are on 26 too. It might get a bit busy, but at the moment it'll be easier if we've got one channel. All the guys down our way are on that, so yeah. And it seems to have fairly good coverage. Ed?
Just with the restricted road access, you're suggesting making yourself clear and be patient and everything like that. Documentation that helps, particularly for, you know, approved assistant people might be coming out of town or anything.
So my advice to you there would be, for those who are residents and landholders, I would hope your licence or some sort of documentation will prove you live on the land there. The other ones is that the people who are coming to assist you, is they need to be very clear about where they're going, who they're going to help, why they're going to help. And be patient with the people you're talking to. And then maybe it's where Chris can help out with those as well, because he's right next to the road blockage today, the restricted access today. You can help with those as well. Maybe that's where you pass Chris a text with some names, which might be able to help, and you can pass those names off to the guys in the road blockage.
The road blockage is going to be controlled by police or by RFS?
No, so it's
it's provided by a traffic control provider.
Because after the last meeting, a number of us sent names of people that were potentially coming from town to assist us to the police. Assumed it was going to get through the rural cop. I'm looking at the police in here behind. Just as one of the means to get better identification, because we have had circumstance where people said they're going to help someone on a farm and they've been held up at the break. So we were trying to get past that last meeting, which I think you've done a lot of good work.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll work out a better process there. We'll make sure we get... So police are inside, just so you know, ACT policing are inside our incident management structure as well. We'll make sure we get this joined up a bit better, and we'll make sure this happens.
My point being, if there is advice about who's coming to help that may not have a licence and so on that identifies them as having an address, is it the RFS we should be sending information to, or to the police?
We'll get back to you with something. We'll get something out through you, Steve, to get that out.
Joe,
yep.
I brought this up again, but you know, up for us that are right on the edge of the bush, we're doing our best. We've eaten all the grass down. We've got as much equipment as we possibly can. I flag it again, when you sell your fire trucks, it would be good if we can...
That's a conversation.
That's not for today.
No, but it's actually not a bad conversation to have now, because...
I'm not doing that one right now.
Any other questions? Casper?
Road closures, are you likely to close the road from Banks to the village?
No. No, so no, Tharwa Ridge will not be closed. The fire, I'll caveat that by saying if the fire's moving across the grasslands there, by all means we may have to close the road temporarily for firefighter and resident safety, without a doubt. At this stage, there's no planning in place right now to close the road between Tharwa and the rest of Canberra.
Is there planning on doing any crossing road?
Angle crossing road, Chris, I don't think...
It seems to have fallen through the cracks as such. It's something we probably need to look at if you do get something happen.
I don't think you see that triggers at angle crossing yet, so...
But you can bypass.
Bypass the trestle.
Yeah, that's a good point. We'll take that one back.
Any more questions?
On the Mayoral Highway, do you think anyone's got any concerns, say, east on around Royale in that area?
Oh, I don't know. You've had more experience with fires than me, Bert.
In the week it might be the way it's spreading.
Yeah, look, I hate being pessimistic, but anyway. Yeah.
So that's why we brought a New South Wales liaison officer into our IMT. We're starting to have that conversation about what this might mean in the future. We're already thinking along those lines. What does now mean? Tomorrow, 2, 3, 4, 5 days out. We are thinking like that right now, but we're not. There's no firm plans about Royalla crossing New South Wales, whatever that means. But we are thinking about it at this time.
At the last meeting, the policeman said you were developing an evacuation plan for some of the suburbs of Canberra. Has that been developed?
That's where we're working with ESA. So we're embedded with ESA and working closely with them in relation to any evacuations.
So there is evacuation planning in place. There are no evacuations at this time. We're being prudent about this. We're thinking well ahead and really thinking about what some of the actions are that we may need to take should something happen in the future.
Any more questions? Any out the back there? Oh, sorry.
Based on the current fire behaviour, is there a rough idea of when it may be
Heading where? To?
Well, north.
If it will, so heading towards Tharwa, you mean?
Yeah.
So right now we're seeing two things happen. One is that during the day when the winds pick up, we're seeing very wind-driven fire. So it's travelling in the southeasterly direction. The spotting though was coming up because of the ridge. It flared up over a ridge. Will it travel north? We're seeing it at the evenings. We're getting a lot of terrain-driven fire. So things are changing overnight once the winds start dropping. So can I tell you, no, at this stage, we're still 8 kilometres from Tharwa and 16 kilometres from Banks, and we'll keep you updated as that continues to change. It will continue to trickle north. Just, folks, you just got to be prepared for that. The fire will continue to expand in size while we try and get ourselves wrapped around it.
There's nothing between Apollo Road to the north and Baroomba to stop it, and that's a huge lump of country that is very rough, full of fuel, full of everything, but there's just nothing there.
What about preparations if it goes southeast down towards the range?
So I'll encourage you to come down. So that's a question about what we're doing. Come down and have a look at the containment map, which shows you what our containment strategies are. And we'll talk to you about that. We'll get people down here who want to be interested to talk about what our containment strategies are at this time.
Any questions out there? Any other questions?
How effective are your large air tankers and very large air tankers? They look spectacular, but do they make a difference?
Yes, we've got to say they're very effective. Mr. Gentleman's here and he's paying.
They're very expensive too.
Yeah. No, look, that's a good expenditure. I was up where they were yesterday. Dave was up in the area where they were dropping retardant. And I think they're probably more suited to structure asset protection than what they were doing yesterday. But yeah. So.
What's your approach to prediction mapping?
What's that? Sorry?
What's your approach to prediction mapping?
For
the prediction mapping.
For the fire,
so for the fire spread.
RFS has from time to time started prediction mapping the next day.
Right. So we're planners working this now. I don't know what these are on now. So this is actually met yesterday's prediction mapping. I don't know what's being done today. There's a planning team working on prediction mapping.
Is there anyway? I think the question.
Can we share it?
Can we share it like New South Wales RFS do?
I'll have to.
It's on their website.
Can we
I mean, there are risks there because their prediction mapping is on the South Coast fires was way out.
Yeah, and look, it's all going to be. Fire behaviour is just such an unknown art, science.
Yep.
Tony Corrigan's out there. Tony can.
It's voodoo.
Yeah, it's just your best. I mean, they're doing worst case scenario.
Sorry, is it prediction or is that actual
fire?
fire?
It's actual.
That's what I thought.
That meant, so the prediction yesterday, they met it.
It would be good if ESA could share that.
We'll do what we can. I'll take that one back.
Any more questions?
Just to thank you, Steve and Joe. I mean, we all crave information, and I think the more we do it, the better. Thanks again.
Our pleasure. And thank you for so many people coming out this morning. It shows there really is a keen interest in it.
And just while we've got people here, is there any value in doing this again in the next few days?
I think you're going to make that judgment about the change in fire behaviour whether it's justified. I think so.
One question: if someone's got a good recording of this, is it possible to put it on if someone has, on the local web pages? Just if someone locally has managed to got my recording.
On the Tharwa Facebook.
And I'm sharing it with
Kevin.
Sure. So somebody is sharing what we've discussed here today, so it's not a secret. We've got the media teams here as well. So please share the information freely amongst all those that you need to talk to. Absolutely share it freely.
And look, if anyone's got any questions that, with Chris, or I don't know whether people have my phone number, I sometimes don't answer it. I came in last night, I had 25 missed calls at 1:30 or something, but ring me and leave and I'll try and help. Dave's pretty busy at the best of times, but I'm quite sure Dave, you know, don't be afraid to ask.
All right, we might look at another community meeting. We may look at, keep an eye on the Facebook page and the notifications, maybe Friday at this stage. Are people pretty comfortable with that?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so at this stage, unless something, but please, stay informed, keep yourself up to date, stay safe, stay hydrated, look after yourself.